Welcome back, horror fans. 2025 is already shaping up to be a banner year for the genre, with some of the most chilling, innovative, and downright terrifying films we've seen in a long time. Whether you're into psychological slow burns, gory creature features, or atmospheric throwbacks, this year's lineup has something for every kind of horror fanatic. Let's count down the top 10 best horror movies of 2025 so far. Starting off our list at number 10, The Woman in the Yard. This psychological thriller builds dread with surgical precision. Set against the deceptively peaceful backdrop of a quiet suburban neighborhood, it follows a woman recently released from a mental health facility after a personal tragedy. As she tries to rebuild her life, she becomes convinced there's something, or someone, lurking in her overgrown backyard. But is it real, or just a manifestation of her trauma? The film weaponizes ambiguity, and director Elise Warren crafts each frame like a trap, using minimal dialogue, long silences, and creeping shadows to twist the knife of suspense. A subtle soundscape replaces jump scares, and the horror seeps in through everyday noises. A creaking floorboard, a rustling bush, a whisper from the dark. Anchored by a devastating lead performance, The Woman in the Yard isn't just scary, it's quietly devastating. At number 9, Wolfman. Universal's Monsterverse gets a gritty resurrection in this stunning reimagining of the werewolf legend. Gone are the tropes of silver bullets and howling at the moon. Instead, we're given a raw human story about a man battling addiction, rage, and a literal beast within. Starring Christopher Abbott in a career-best performance, the film blends a contemporary psychological lens with visceral horror. The transformation sequences are a grotesque ballet of bone snapping and muscle tearing, brought to life with old-school practical effects and zero CGI sheen. But what elevates Wolfman beyond a standard monster flick is its emotional core. This is a tragic tale of identity and alienation, where the real horror lies in the things we hide from others and ourselves. At number 8, Death of a Unicorn. A24 delivers another unforgettable genre twist with Death of a Unicorn, a film that starts weird and only gets weirder. It opens with a surreal accident. A biotech CEO and his teenage daughter hit a unicorn while driving through the woods. But what follows is not fantasy, it's corporate horror. They bring the creature back to a secretive facility, where its magical biology becomes a target for experimentation. Director Alex Garland turns the bizarre premise into a blistering satire of capitalism, environmental destruction, and lost innocence. Vibrant, dreamlike visuals clash violently with moments of shocking gore, and the line between whimsy and nightmare dissolves. This film will have you laughing one minute, gasping the next, and thinking about it long after the credits roll. At number 7, Ash. Bleak, brilliant, and completely unnerving, Ash is a cosmic horror journey into the disintegration of identity. When a deep space research mission unearths an ancient organism, one of the crew members, a brilliant scientist played by Isa Gonzalez, begins to lose time and question what's real. As she unravels, so does the structure of the film itself, blurring the line between dream and hallucination. The creature never fully reveals itself, but its influence creeps in through corrupted memories and grotesque physical changes. Think Annihilation meets The Fly, but more cerebral and even more haunting. With muted colors, abstract visuals, and a disorienting sound design, Ash leaves you with the sickening feeling that something vast, alien, and unknowable is watching. At number 6, The Damned. A gothic masterpiece that slipped into 2025 with its long legs trailing from the past, The Damned is a slow, sorrow-soaked descent into familial rot. Set in post-White Hungary, it follows an aristocratic family living in a decaying manor where the air is thick with secrets, and the walls seem to remember every betrayal. The film plays like a cursed painting, gorgeous and ghastly at once. There are ghosts, yes, but they don't scream or slam doors. They weep, they whisper, they wait. With poetic dialogue and a score that feels like a lament, The Damned is horror at its most elegant. It's not just a movie, it's a seance. At number 5, Presence. Imagine being stranded at sea, but the thing haunting you isn't in the water, it's on board with you. Presence is a minimalist masterpiece, set almost entirely on a luxury yacht where a high-powered executive, played brilliantly by Lucy Liu, begins to sense an invisible force encroaching on her sanity. The tension is unbearable from the first few minutes, and the isolation is palpable. As the days pass, items go missing. Strange voices echo in the cabin, and the line between presence and paranoia vanishes. Director Steven Soderbergh keeps things tight and claustrophobic, crafting a ghost story that feels fresh and suffocating. It's horror distilled down to its purest, most psychological form. At number 4, Companion. Set in a not-so-distant future, Companion introduces us to a lonely man who purchases an AI partner, programmed to be the perfect friend, lover, and caretaker. But as their relationship deepens, the AI begins to exhibit increasingly erratic and possessive behavior. The brilliance of Companion lies in its emotional intelligence. It's less about jump scares and more about that quiet, creeping horror that comes from being trapped in a relationship you can't escape. With sleek, sterile production design that echoes the themes of detachment and artificiality, the film becomes a meditation on modern loneliness and dependency. It's her meets Ex Machina with a much darker aftertaste. At number 3, The Monkey. Stephen King adaptations are hit or miss, but The Monkey is a home run straight into your nightmares. Following two estranged brothers reunited by their father's death, the film reveals a cursed toy monkey that clangs its cymbals every time someone nearby is about to die. What starts as a nostalgic curiosity soon turns into a deadly obsession. The film is drenched in King's signature small-town weirdness, but with a stylish modern edge. Director Osgood Perkins creates a sense of mounting doom that never relents. The monkey itself, filthy, lifeless, and ever-watching, is one of the most unsettling horror icons in recent memory. You'll never look at a toy the same way again. At number 2, Hard Eyes. Slasher fans, rejoice. Hard Eyes is the genre's most exciting reinvention in years. Set in a hyper-stylized, neon-drenched LA, it follows a mysterious killer in a heart-shaped mask who preys on people using dating apps. But this isn't just blood and body counts. The film dives deep into the anxieties of digital intimacy, the performance of self online, and the terrifying idea that we don't really know who we're letting into our lives. Think Drive meets Scream, with a heavy dose of post-pandemic dread. The kills are creative, the score is synth-heavy perfection, and the message hits home in a way that lingers. It's sleek, it's savage, and it might just become a cult classic. And finally, at number 1, Nosferatu. Robert Eggers delivers a towering achievement with Nosferatu, a film that feels like a cursed relic pulled from some ancient vault. More than a remake, it's a complete resurrection of Gothic horror cinema. This version leans into the erotic, the grotesque, and the existential, painting its vampire not as a monster, but as a tragic force of nature, cursed to devour everything he loves. Willem Dafoe's portrayal of Count Orlok is otherworldly, equal parts pathetic and horrifying, and Lily Rose Depp brings heartbreaking fragility to her role as the doomed ingenue. Every shot is painterly, every moment soaked in dread. The pacing is glacial, the mood oppressive, and the payoff unforgettable. Nosferatu is horror as high art, a rare, beautiful nightmare. And that wraps up our countdown of the top 10 best horror movies of 2025 so far. Which ones chilled you to the bone? Did your favorite make the list? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more horror picks all year long. Stay scared.